And welcome once again to Inside LAFC podcast. I am Max Bretos. Joining me, Steve Beitashour, and all is well in the LAFC kingdom. I feel like I'm saying that every week now these days, Beta. Quite a departure from what we were saying in the spring. And, we'll try to find some flaws along the way. But right now, this club is just hitting on all cylinders.
Yeah, they're flying. Lots to talk about, but definitely not much to complain about, which is it's a good thing.
I don't know, Beta. I'm leaning into you. I know you can find some of the shortcomings. Do you have a list, a few pages there?
No, the guys are doing well. Any critiques we had earlier in the year, they must have listened to you and I, and
Exactly.
they're like, oh, you know what? Yeah, we need to fix that. So they're doing well.
I'm going to ask them when I see them, and I bet you it's all going to come out. The truth will come out.
Yes.
The podcast changed the tenor of this club. We have a fantastic show because it's all good. It's all good living right here. We will be joined by LAFC forward Tommy Ángel, who scored his first LAFC goal over the weekend. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about scoring first goals. We will talk about Kei Kamara breaking a record that many thought a few years ago would not be broken, as he's now number 2 in the all-time. I don't think he can catch number 1, but the way when you score a goal every week, anything is possible. And we will preview the Colorado Rapids, who I will say, prepare yourself. This is a team that's playing very, very well. This will be a stern test, much sterner than what we saw from the San Jose Earthquakes. Let us talk about that game. It was an offensive avalanche. And we have seen LAFC play very well here, Beta, over the last few weeks. And it's been gradual. It's been like get on the road, see if you can score first, sometimes hang on to a 1-0 result. This was completely different. This was bang, 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 goal, game over essentially at halftime with 4 goals. They added 2 more. They were able to share the wealth. I mean, it was one of those games, I think, where they crossed everything off the checklist, including getting Tommy Ángel, some of the players on the fringe, some goals as well. What was your reaction when you see a team play like that, win like that, where, I mean, it's a no doubter. It's up and over at halftime.
As a player, you love playing those games where that was probably the most dominant first half I've ever seen any team play. They were relentless. The foot never came off the gas. I don't know how many times San Jose even got past halfway. It just felt like they were stuck in their own end. And as a player, you love it. It almost feels like a training sessions where you can just attack like crazy. Not that everyone's trying to pad their stats, but everyone's just having fun. Everyone's just attacking like crazy. You see love for the outside backs, an assist for both, a goal for Hollingshead. And it was just a fun performance to be a part of when you're on that field and you just know, man, everything's going right. Crosses, shots, tackles, and it was over in the first half. That was a very, very good performance from LAFC.
What, even in the second half, the game, they've had 6 goals. Denny Bouanga with a shot crossing across the 18-yard box that went in. They just kept coming at it. I kind of dig the fact that they say, look, you're going to come play this team, especially at home, where the outpouring of offense is certainly going to be a distinct possibility, that it is going to be relentless. It is going to be nonstop. The team is not going to come up for air. They were full charge, foot on the pedal for the 90 minutes plus the 5-6 minutes stoppage time as well.
In my playing days, when we were up 2, 3, maybe 4 goals, I usually tell the guys, all right, kind of take it easy, keep the clean sheet. For me as a defender, I always love the clean sheet. I don't think there was any talks of that against San Jose. They were just all flying forward, like, let's keep scoring. Obviously, you gave up the goal right before half, so there goes the clean sheet talk at halftime. So second half comes out, and then you mentioned it, like, man, they're still shooting, they're still attacking, they're going. And, rightfully so. They put up 6 on a night against a San Jose team who, yes, they are struggling a bit, but against any professional team, it's impressive.
Is that I tend to think that clubs are taking notice, and there's a thought. Let's go to LA and see if we can get a big win, or if you beat LAFC, it's a game changer. It could lift a club. I mean, let's be frank. It just decimated San Jose. They're in the market for a new coach after that game. Do you think clubs are paying? I imagine they are. They're looking at this and go, okay, we got to tread with caution here, because if we are not 100% locked in, the same thing that happened to the earthquakes could happen to us.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's a scary moment. You got to tread lightly. Anytime you're going into LAFC in front of the 32-52, and you know that LAFC has an unbelievable home record. Now, if you're playing at your own home and LAFC is the traveling team, okay, maybe you can get a result. But right now, every team coming into LA will be thrilled to get a draw, whether it's 0-0, 1-1. But once you start conceding multiple goals, yeah, forget about it. It's over. So the game plan and just the lack of camaraderie with San Jose, watching them, they look very confused at times. They didn't know who should step out to who. They got numbers behind the ball, but they really didn't get proper pressure. And so we'll see. Obviously, you mentioned it, Lucho. Unfortunately, good guy, but he's out at San Jose. And Ian Russell, who I know very well, will be the interim right now. So hopefully he can at least get the guys bought in to the same system and playing together. But man, they were in disarray against LAFC, and LAFC was just firing on all cylinders.
And I don't think I've ever said this. I think about the 2019 that was dominant, maybe to a similar degree, and the 2022 championship season. But this felt like when you turn on the Premier League and you see Brentford or Crystal Palace playing Man City, or you see Celta Vigo go into Real Madrid in the Bernabeu, and they're like deers in the headlight.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, this is because they talk about MLS. It's a league of parity. It's a league where you can win any week. I don't know. I mean, things can obviously change. But look, LAFC have Olivier Giroud coming back. Kike Oliveira is with Uruguay. So this is a team that is going to get better. This is a kind of unique circumstance that this club is terrifying. And if you don't have it, if you're not playing your best, or if you're leaving a few details out, it could get ugly. And I welcome it. We need super clubs in this league.
It definitely felt like that. Watching that game, it felt like Sheffield playing at City, like giving up a ton of goals, ton of chances, not getting out of your own half. It felt like I was watching one of those games. And I agree. It's okay. You know what? We need that. If you want to raise the overall level, look, if you don't want to do everything in your powers to hang with the top teams, you're going to see that. And unfortunately for San Jose, they've got more of an issue than just the head coach that they need to sort out, because that was a big discrepancy between a top team and a bottom team, and you just saw it.
Beautiful music between Denny Bouanga and Matty Bogush. That partnership is flourishing. I think that was the best those two played together. I like that you brought up the fullbacks, because as I rewatched the game last night, Sergi Palencia to me popped off the screen. He had assist, and then he was involved in a lot. And then Ryan Hollingshead had a goal, almost scored a second. It's the fullbacks are a big part of it. Everyone played great. Obviously, we can pick out who could be your MVP. I think that's a very difficult discussion, but I really liked what the fullbacks have done. And then you have Omar Campos. That stable of players, to me, very nice.
Yeah. There were moments in the game where you see LAFC drop into the three. One of the midfielders comes in, center back split, and then you see Palencia go out wider into the 8 pocket. And San Jose's left winger didn't know what to do with him. He didn't know, should I step, or is that the outside backs, the left back's job? And that's the moment where I'm saying San Jose looked in disarray. They didn't know what to do, because the outside back, the left back had someone, whether it was Bouanga or whoever was on the right side, he was already marked up. So now Palencia, Hollingshead on the left, they constantly got the ball free in those wider or 8 positions, and they're just turning and facing. And it caused so much trouble for San Jose. And that's what you like to see. LAFC was firing on all cylinders. Obviously, the attackers were doing a great job, but I love it when midfielders and defenders, outside backs get to join the fun.
Brilliant. Kei Kamara, we waited all season for him to tie Landon Donovan. He did that on Wednesday, and then he gets goal number 146 to move ahead of Landon on Saturday. He is second all-time goal scoring in MLS. Number 1 is Chris Wondolowski. He's not going to catch him. Wondolowski's got 171. He's not going to catch him.
I don't think so. Look, he is a freak of nature athletically, in such good shape. Obviously, everyone will talk about his age, but that would be very, very difficult. He'd have to play probably three more years and getting close to double digits. Yeah, that's too tough. That's too tough. But I will say this about Kei Kamara. Great guy. I know him. Obviously played a lot of games against each other. Had great conversations with him. I love that he broke Landon's record off of a header dunking on someone because he scored so many goals. His 145 other goals, a majority, 90% of those were exactly in that fashion. So it would have been a shame to get like a Wando type goal, the tap ins and just roaming in the right spot, right time. No, let me dunk on someone to pass up Donovan. That was really cool.
That was, you know what it reminded me? It reminded me of Gareth Bale, getting up, his torso above the defenders and heading it home. And then you stop and think to yourself, this guy's 39. And you say to yourself, that's the first thing that goes away normally, the athleticism, the speed. He has both of them in bushels still, that he's able to do it. And it's an amazing achievement. And for LAFC fans, I'm sure they are going to celebrate the fact that a former Galaxy player has been pushed back. Landon Donovan was amazing. He, to me, the best American player we've ever had. But it's a good feeling. And for the history for LAFC, which they're still a new club, when they get to add that, they're not going to claim all of these goals by Kei Kamara, but they can claim the last two for sure. And those are the ones that put them over the top. So history is important, right? We talk about it all the time on the show, that LAFC can say, hey, remember this moment. That has a residual effect that we will look back at this later this season. We'll look back at it in a couple years. We'll look back at this in 5 years.
Yeah, you always love the good banter, and LAFC will now always have that over the Galaxy. Hey, your pride and joy, Landon Donovan. Our guy just passed them up into second. So see you later.
I've been running on the social media pages, and that's exactly what's being said. So That's fantastic. Kei Kamara, when he was asked about it, immediately thought about his kids, and he blew them kisses and said he was thinking about it. It was tremendous. One of the big items that we have discussed is, how do you get all these players involved? And I would imagine when Giroud comes, when he arrives, and when Kike Oliveira's here, and everyone is if knock on wood, is healthy and ready to go, Kai's probably not going to start. He started the last two games, but I still believe there is an important role for him on this team when they're fully loaded, when they're in the stretch run for the season, because of those things that we talked about, the athleticism and just the fact that he does more than score goals. And now add to the fact that pursuit is behind him. He doesn't have to talk about it anymore. That has to be liberating as well.
Yeah, definitely the pressure is off, which is a good thing for Kei. But at the end of the day, I know Giroud is coming in. I know Kike is gone, but you need depth. Injuries happen, unfortunately. It's part of the game. Sometimes the congested schedule where you have 3 games in a week, there are going to be moments where he's going to either come off the bench or even have to start, and he just has to stay ready. That's the main thing. When his entire career he's been a starter, but now you're a backup. Now you need to come in and do whatever is good for your team, whether that's the last 5 minutes or whether that's the last 45 minutes, or like the last game, you need to start and give us as much as you can. So he is a true professional. Obviously, you can see how fit he still is at the age of 39, but he'll continue to do that, and he'll continue to get some goals, because as a defender, when it's going into the 75th, 80th minute, and I see Kei Kamara coming on fresh, the guy's already 6-something and he can jump through the roof. That's my worst nightmare as a defender, and so he'll still get chances late in games and he'll put them in. So he'll have many more goals.
I think so. I think he can get to 150. Let's put it at that. It's a nice round
for sure. I am taking that over 100%. 100%.
Give me a number.
You're saying he's at 146. You're telling me what? What do we have? About 14 games left, roughly? Yeah. I'm going to put him at 153 by the end of the season.
I think we have 16. 153?
153. Yeah.
Wow. This is crazy. Remember, there's Open Cup, there's Leagues Cup, and then who knows about next season. It helps with the introduction of Olivier Giroud. There's no haste, right? You can introduce him at you can say, take your time off after the Euros. See, by the way, France isn't doing as great as we thought, so maybe it's not as long as the time in the Euros. Who knows? It's France. but that helps there. And for Olivier Giroud, he comes to a team. He's not going to go, hey, we need your goals tomorrow. He's like, well, you guys just scored 6 goals.
Yeah,
you're fine.
Here's the reason why I say so many goals. LAFC is now rolling with the goals, right? This is going to push the opposition back. One gripe I always had with Barcelona, Manchester City is they would never cross the ball in. But look at LAFC last game and even a few games before that. They're starting to whip in the balls, which I love. When you have a tall forward like that, you don't need to get to the end line every time and drive something on the ground. Put it up in the air. You got the most dominant player forward in the league on your team. And especially if he's coming on the last 10, 15 minutes where the opposition is already fatigued. They're tired. They don't want to deal with someone dunking on them. And so he's going to get more chances. There's going to be a game where he's going to get a brace. And so, yeah, I definitely think 152, 153. He'll finish off with that.
Let's put a bookmark there. Let's put a bookmark there. I'm not going to argue with you, man. I think it's because I think there's going to be more games like this. Yep. And LAFC, who has conceded possession to teams I think at halftime they were close to 66, 67%. They ended up like close to 60%. They were pinging that ball around. It's not going to always look like that because San Jose was, really in shock, but we saw that as well. So Kei Kamara, goal 146. Tommy Ángel, who we're going to talk to on the podcast here in a few minutes, gets goal number 1. He has been working his tail off. We remember at the beginning of the season, there was no Kei Kamara. There was no striker. Manny Bogusz went up there. Goals were coming at a premium. Tommy Ángel was working to get into the team, and it took a little bit longer, but he was patient. He did the work at LAFC too. He started to make some appearances for the first team. And then I love this goal because it was Nate Ordaz, who's kind of followed a similar path, put the ball across, and he scored it. So the question to you, Beta, let's go back because you were a fullback who scored some goals. Your first goal, what it meant for you at the moment, and when you walk off the field and knowing that, hey, I'm a goal scorer. I'm a professional goal scorer.
I didn't score many goals. Let's just clarify. Score
how many?
5, okay? They fit on one hand. 5 professional goals. I didn't score a single goal in college either. So it's actually why they went from midfield to outside back. They're like, yeah, you work hard, you're really good, but you don't score enough. So just to clarify for fans, I didn't score many. But I did have my first professional goal in my 3rd ever professional game. So pretty cool to get one so quick, so early. It was against Chivas USA when I was with the San Jose Earthquakes in 2010, my rookie year. It was a corner kick. We were down 2 goals. I think it was 3-1. And so they sent everyone forward. And this is the thing. As a defender, center backs get to go up on set pieces. I was always the last man. You're fast. Your instincts are good. If they counter, just put out any fires, which I did. And that's why I always was the last man. In this situation, it was the 90th minute. Everyone was forward. The keeper was at the our keeper was at the halfway point. They put me at the top of the box. So we have everybody, 10 players inside the box. I'm at the top, and the ball pops out, left-footed volley, kind of upper 90-ish. But I didn't celebrate because I was so upset that we were losing. It was 90th minute, 3-2. So I'm just telling them, get the ball back. Everyone's like, man, it was your first goal. Celebrate. I was like, I just want to win. That's all I care about. I just want to win. So, now it's unfortunate that I didn't celebrate it. I didn't have good feelings. But when you look back, like, yeah, it was pretty cool to score in your 3rd ever game. So, yeah, that was the first one.
What a downer, Beta.
I know. I'm just so competitive. It kills so many things. Like, you should be happy, right? Scored your first goal.
I thought you were here, angels coming in, and Beta's going to be carried away, and then they're going to get a steak dinner.
No, nothing. I was pissed, man. I was so upset. Even reporters afterwards come in, your first goal, and I was just, as a defender, you give up 3 goals. I felt like I let our team down, and I'm a rookie too, so I just want to be perfect. I just want to win and get the clean sheet, and so we didn't do that. So I was like, I don't care about scoring goals. I just want to win. That's it. So
there you go. That's a good philosophy.
Yeah, but forwards have a different philosophy.
Right. And Tommy scored it with the 6th goal.
Yes.
So at home.
Ángel, I'm sure, was much more thrilled at home. 6th goal. his first of many. I'm not thinking I'm scoring many after that. So it was a great finish by him. You mentioned it. Ordaz with the cutback. He had Bawanga kind of lurking. He could have laid it off, but that was a true striker goal. Take it across your body, whip it in. So good finish.
Did you always play as a defender, like in high school or as a kid, or did you ever play in an attacking role?
No. So growing up, I was always an attacker. All the way throughout high school, I was a number 10. So more assists. I had a lot of goals as well. But when I went to college, I was an outside winger, and they're like, "Yeah, you're super fast. Just run, get some goals, get some assists." I had a few assists, goals, and so they're like, "All right, let's try defending because your work ethic is ridiculous. You're going to go up and down. You're playing practically two positions." And that's where I really shined, just my competitiveness, not to get beat 1v1, to just attack relentlessly. And it worked out. I'll say I had an okay career in the pros, so I'm not going to complain about playing defense. But yeah, growing up, always attacking.
Well, I'm imagining little Beta going, "Yeah, I like playing number 10," and he's like, "You're a fullback. You're too fast. You can't be playing here." Well, we'll pick up the spirits here after Beta just dragged us through the mud there. We'll talk about Tommy. I'm sure it's exciting, but look, that's our Beta. It's about winning the results. And again, so many players like Beta. It's interesting because when we spoke to Aaron Long, you start at one position. In this country, certainly someone sees you, they do the dots, the rest is history, and they have a great professional career. This weekend, with LAFC winning, they've moved to first place on goal differential, I believe. Or no, they first place because they have 11 wins. Real Salt Lake lost to the Galaxy, and they both have 10 wins, but they all have 37 points. We have a long way to go. But LAFC, who were in 7th, 8th, earlier in the season on the wrong side of the playoff positionings, those three teams have kind of pulled away from the pack. Is LAFC the best in the West now? And how do you think it's going to look at season's end?
I think if you look at the past 5-10 games, you will say LAFC is the best. We can all agree they had a bit of a slow start. Home was fine. Home record was great, but they had their road woes, right? Now they're firing all cylinders. Home, away, it doesn't matter. And it's not like they're even drawing on the road. They're getting 3 points on the road. RSL, very good team. You can tell their coach, Pablo Mastroeni, has everyone bought into his system, his style, his energy, right? That's how he was as a player, and that's how he is as a coach. And then the Galaxy are also rolling. Greg Vanny finally got his pieces, very similar to Toronto FC. While I was there, we had an unbelievable team, and they're also firing. But if you want to look at the last 5-10 games, you will say LAFC has been the most dominant defensively, offensively, home, away. You just can't find a flaw right now. And the crazy part is you got Giroud coming in. Kike is gone. They're doing well. Stay fit, stay healthy, and they have a great person for that. Gavin, who's head of sports science over there, is phenomenal at his job. So he will do everything to keep those guys fit. I would like to say that LAFC is the front runner.
I think so too, but I want everyone, because that 4th of July game at the Rose Bowl is coming, and I believe there's a very good chance it could be first for second. I'm not taking anything away from Real Salt Lake. I've seen them a lot this season. They're fantastic, but maybe there might be a little bit of a rut hitting there. And Chicho Arango, if you didn't see the game, he had a clash of heads. He had like 20 stitches. It was gnarly. So I don't know how that's going. I imagine he might miss some action. But if you haven't got tickets for the Rose Bowl, go to LAFC.com and get it, because this could be the biggest LAFC Galaxy regular season game, because they're playing really well. And now their defense is starting to come around with John McCarthy. And you mentioned Olivier Giroud. I would imagine the Galaxy, now that they know they have a special season ahead of them, are going to go after. I mean, they didn't make the postseason a year ago. They're going to go after a nice piece or two here to see if they can knock LAFC off their perch. So what's happening in Los Angeles right now is amazing. I think everyone's engaged, and that 4th of July game is going to be a really good test to see where both these clubs. It's going to be a grind. It's going to be awesome. Make sure you're out there. Bait, I'll get you out there, man. We got to get you Rose Bowl. We can get you a little mini parade outside like the old days.
Pull your strings. I know you got connections. Come on, Max.
Let us talk about next week. Before we get to the 4th of July, pump the brakes a little bit. I mean, I'll be at training this week, and I'll ask Coach Chirundolo that, and he'll be like, Relax, Bretos.
Yeah, one
We have
game
the Colorado Rapids. They're coming to town, the Rapids, and they finished second from bottom. That was your final season. That they were obviously going through a lot of changes. I think more than anything, they hadn't really committed to getting some new players. So in the offseason, they added Georgi Mihailovic, who had a hat trick in the midweek, Zach Steffen, Sam Vines. They've done pretty well with some of these pieces, and now we mentioned those top three teams. They are right behind them. Georgi Mihailovic had a hat trick as Colorado won in St. Louis on Wednesday, and then they won again over Montreal at home 4-1. Calvin Harris scored. Anyway, this is a much better. You have a good look at this Colorado team, so I think just get people prepared. This isn't the Colorado team that was a bit finding their identity. This is a Colorado team that has this new coach, and they're ambitious, right? They're spending money, and we also have to mention, I know we talked about it last time, they beat the LAFC earlier in the year back in March with Georgi Mihailovic free kick. They're very good at set pieces. You've had a good look at this team. You've been immersed in there. This is going to be a very stiff challenge. Just put it that way. It's going to be a stiff challenge for LAFC this Saturday, but it is at home. LAFC 8-2 there at BMO Stadium.
Yeah, I've been fortunate. I went to the last two home games for the Rapids and getting a close look, right? The last game against Montreal, I think that was the best the Rapids have played this year. They looked dominant. They looked like, they were the better team. Montreal did sit back a little bit, so it's going to be a bit different against LAFC, where LAFC will actually try to press you in the right moments. But again, you mentioned it, set pieces. The Rapids are deadly at it. They have, in my opinion, one of the best set piece coaches in Chris Sharpie, who's also the goalie coach. But they possess the ball. They got in good positions. And Calvin Harris, who was my locker room buddy last year, we had great conversations, young kid, but just a great person, works hard. And he was rewarded last game. He had the 2 goals. He had the brace, 2 very good goals. And so between him, Kevin Cabral, who's also very speedy and creates a lot of chances, I think the outside backs for LAFC will have their hands full. They will have to be a little bit more reserved and cautious because of that speed. I think that's a component when LAFC plays teams that have very speedy wingers like that. They just have to be a little cautious. So hopefully Hollingshead, if Campos is playing, Sergio, if they're listening right now, be a little bit more cautious. You can't go in such high attacking positions like you did in San Jose, just because of, again, the threat of Cabral. If Jonathan Lewis plays, Calvin Harris, there is a lot of speed over there. And you don't want to see your center backs having to go all the way to the touchline and leaving the central of the park exposed. So it'll be a good game. I'm definitely going to be tuning in. It'll be a good matchup. 1 versus 4. Everyone should be excited about it.
I'm not going to give you credit for this, but I'm going to record the keys to the match, the hit keys to the match, which air in the stadium. And one of the keys are going to be cautious, because I think that's spot on. But I'm going to take credit for it.
No, give me credit. Give me some credit. Come on, Max.
It'll be weird. What? So I'm going to be cautious.
Take all my shine. That's fine. That's fine.
Well, this is why I got to be cautious. Colorado lead the league in penalties. They have 9. They score set pieces. They don't give up set pieces. That tells me a team that's very attuned, right, to those little that will punish you for mistakes. So I think that's a really good way. And I think Steve Cherundolo is going to remind the team. I'll end it with this. LAFC, you can't really quantify revenge games. You don't want to say it. And like Steve Cherundolo is like, 1 game, let's focus on this. But we remember the Earthquakes beat LAFC, and that was a low point for the club. Well, LAFC kind of showed the Earthquakes what they're all about. And that game, which LAFC were leading twice and Colorado came back to win it, I remember we felt rock bottom. That I would imagine LAFC is remembering that game too. Is that, you guys, players remember that. And then they take some satisfaction in.
It's definitely on the radar. That's actually the 3rd game that I've been to for the Rapids when LAFC came to town. So I do remember that and thinking, LAFC had it in the bag. And then unfortunately the Martinez red card flipped everything. And then now, the Rapids get 2 late ones, secure the 3 points. And you could tell afterwards when I'm talking to some of the LAFC players, the staff, you know, in the locker room after everyone washed up and was heading out, and you could see it in their eyes. It hurt. You know, they felt like they gave away 3 points. They had it,
Yeah.
and it was just, you know, whether it was a lack of focus or just uncanny mistakes. You don't like to see that on the road. So there is going to be a little bit of a revenge game, I think, for the boys at LAFC, and let's go show them who the more dominant team is. But it's going to be a tough matchup. It really is. So I'm looking forward to it.
Hold on a second. Let's go show them who the more dominant team is. Key number 2. I'm going to take credit.
I love it. I love it. It's okay.
Good stuff, Beta.
Max, I get assists, right? That's all I do. I don't score goals.
You get it. We'll get you a beverage over at Level Up when you come out here. How's that sound? A nice warm coffee or whatever's your tipple. Good stuff, Beta. It's going to be a great game Saturday. Let's see you guys out there, and let's see if LAFC can continue that undefeated streak, which is rocking and rolling. We will be back here on Inside LAFC podcast. Tommy Ángel will join us. We have been along the ride for him. We're picking him up, and now he has a goal and a lot of fun stuff ahead for him and this club. The Inside LAFC podcast rolls on.
Inside LAFC podcast is presented by Freeway Insurance, driving savings.
We're back on Inside LAFC podcast, joined now by LAFC forward Tomás Ángel. Saludos y felicidades, Tomás.
Thank you. Excited to be here. Obviously, thank you for the invitation. And
I was going to set up your story. I was going to say he's from Colombia, but look how good his English is. But then, you're born in England, lived in the States, so your English is amazing. But you're a Colombiano.
Yeah, I've always. Obviously, I've had experience in a lot of cultures, the United States, England, but obviously having more time in Colombia, it's more of the culture that I know.
We'll get to the goal, but let's start about your professional career, which was at Atlético Nacional in Medellin. Scored some goals there and starting to get your career going, and then this opportunity for LAFC came. Tell us a little bit about how that happened and why you did decide to come to this club.
Well, I started at Atlético Nacional. Obviously, it was my dream as a boy. Obviously, living in Medellin and obviously the relationship I have with the team. I started to play, and obviously it started to go well. And then from there, obviously with the good presentation I had in the couple of matches with Atlético Nacional, I went to the World Cup U20, and it was an amazing experience. Something I would never forget. To play a World Cup is obviously different to play a World Cup as like the professional, but even though it's an amazing experience, and obviously in the country we played it, Argentina, it's amazing. And then obviously John Thornton gave me the opportunity to come here. Obviously, I was thrilled, and I know the city. I knew the history that LAFC has, and it was impossible to say no. And obviously, I thought it was going to be a big step for me in my career.
You've lived a very cultured life, as you said. But I got to ask you this: should everyone visit Medellin? Because I know a lot of Americans go there. Everyone says you've got to go to Medellin. I don't have a direct flight from LAX. I want to go, but I don't want to connect two places.
Well, you have to go to Colombia. Not specifically Medellin. There's a lot of places in Colombia that are amazing, that are very beautiful. But the experience in Medellin, obviously, it's a city experience. You don't have beach. You don't have the bright side of like Cartagena and all Santa Marta. But it's an amazing city. There's amazing people, and it's very nice. Very, very nice.
Well, I went last year, and there's a direct flight to Bogota, and that's why I went. So I went to Bogota and Cartagena. So I have Medellin on the list.
Yeah, you have to check that on the list.
It will be. I can't wait. And more people are going to Colombia. It's great. And listen, with coming to LAFC, it had to help. You had so many Colombianos. So you have Eddie, you have Jesus, you have Edward. There was, I mean, how did that help you make the transition here to the club? And what's that relationship been with so many guys from your homeland?
As you say, it's very important to have somebody from your country because it makes you adapt quicker. And obviously having Murillo and Edward that played in the same city as me, obviously we know each other better, and I got to know Eddie a while back when he went to train to do preseason in Medellin, and it was three people that I already knew, that I had contact with them before, and I had a good relationship with them, so it's made everything easier, for sure.
Are you guys having some Colombia viewing parties for the Copa America? You guys getting together, having a little nice little dinner?
We got together to watch the Colombian debut, so it was nice. It was nice.
How are we feeling about the Cafeteros?
I'm feeling very good, very good. They obviously the first match is hard because you get nervous, the debut of the tournament, but I have some good feeling.
Well, I got some bad news for you, Tommy. I picked them to win it, which means you guys are doomed.
Oh, let's hope we win it.
I'm right once in a while.
Let's hope you're right for this one.
Yeah, man. And I was watching the game, packed stadium, well supported, whatever, 24-3 game unbeaten streak. It's been really impressive. Unless they play the U.S., of course. Let's talk about the goal, man. That was amazing. Before we get into that, I just want to know, because when you came here, you knew this was going to be a challenge. You're playing with Denny Bouanga and Matty Bogusz and Tim Tillman, and there's a list of guys that are world class. It had to be intimidating to come in here, but what has it been like there to, as they say, iron sharpens iron, to be around this group and have to be patient and wait for your opportunity?
Yeah, obviously, it wasn't the start I imagined. I came here with an injury, and I've been, in a way, rowing my way up. And we have world-class players, as you say, and I think I can potentiate my play style, me as a player, because obviously of them. When I play with them, I feel much more loose because it's quality, and when you mix quality and quality, it's impossible not to do stuff. And obviously the play time with me and my training and my determination and my work, I'll start to get more minutes. And obviously this weekend, I haven't played for a while with the first team, and at the end of the day, I think it's 2 or 3 games, and I've scored 2 goals, and it's been good for me, as obviously as a striker, where you need that goal to feed your energy, to feed your emotions, to all that.
Your appetito.
Yeah. So obviously, I'm hungry for more, and it's the beginning of something nice.
Well, I got to give you credit, Tomás, because that's hard. I mean, that was hard for you to start that way, and it could be easy to be discouraged. And you kept your eye on the target, and there you are, getting into the first team and scoring goals. How was the message from the coaching staff about? Obviously, they believe in you. They know this was possible, and the encouragement they gave you, so to let you know that this moment could come.
Yeah, as you said, I think in my short career, I've been through a lot of obstacles where it's been very tough for me, but it's obviously made me the person and the player I am today. And I think, or I've always thought in my mind, that I work better in pressure. And I knew, or I know, that every minute for me is a gift, and I have to use it to the maximum. And I haven't failed it to today.
Good man. Let's take me through the goal. You get the ball, kind of near the 18. Was there a moment? I mean, were you always going to go for goal? Because I know there's like these guys are screaming at you. Denny's like, yeah, Denny can always score more goals. He's kind of screaming at you.
I think you as a striker or a striker in whatever team you play in has to be the end play. You as a striker, they give it to you is because you have to end the play, either in goal or in a shot. And obviously, when I receive the ball, um, I think I've always had that calmness in the area or in the box. And when I controlled it and I saw that the player slide tackled, I knew I had that little second to take another touch. And obviously, you as a striker, you have to have the goal in your mind, draw right here. So I knew when I controlled it that I was gonna score.
That's awesome. It was Nate, right? Passed it to you from outside.
Yeah.
That group of guys, because you guys together started on LAFC 2, similar paths, and breaking into this team. We've seen it with Nate. Nate's is logging a lot of minutes, and now you're logging some minutes. What's it like to have guys like that along for the journey, helping each other?
Yeah, obviously, Nate's a young player. He's been getting minutes this year, and each time he's probably going to do better. It's a path of learning. I've been there, I was there, so I know. Probably I have a little bit of more experience because of the environments I've had in South America, and it's always nice to have those young talents that obviously you're gonna help, that they're gonna help you, and it's a day by day fight for each other.
How hard is that every day to start from scratch? And like the goal tells you you're doing something right, but you can't stop there. It's got to be train and train and train.
I think it's everything in life. You have to fight for everything in your life. Little goals, you have to have little steps. Every day in training, you have that little goal. Either today I'm gonna try to score 2 goals. Today I'm gonna dribble more. Today I'm gonna whatever it is. It's every day you wake up with a different goal, and when the game comes, you have to put everything you did in training in the pitch, because if at the end of the day you do a lot of things and a lot of good things in training, but you don't do it and you don't reflect them on the pitch, it doesn't work. It doesn't matter.
How's the LAFC 2 experience helped you? Because I mentioned Nate, Tommy Musto's come in there now. He signed the deal. Luis Mueller's done it. Eric Duenas has done there. Being able to play there and get those minutes, how's that helped you to make it to the senior team?
Yeah, obviously it's a young team with young players that are beginning their careers. I think for me it's a possibility for me to get that match fitness that probably I don't have in the first team, and obviously that's going to help me be available whenever the coaches need me to play. That I'm going to be match fit and I'm going to be ready for whatever happens. At
the goal, and you don't have to tell me what Denny said to you, but he grabbed you and he was like, and afterwards everyone had to be thrilled because they know what you've gone through. What was the post game like for you with your teammates?
No, I think I've received very good messages from every player. They know that I work very hard every day. Try to be my best, try to help everybody. So to feel and to know that every teammate has my back and is helping me, it's just a plus for me. And with Denis, I obviously we don't speak the same language, so it's tough to to understand each other with words. But I think how I said in the past questions, when you have a lot of players with quality, it's impossible not to have that flow when you have the ball. So he knows I can help him. He knows that he can help me. And every time in the pitch that we can interact, it's always going to be nice.
Well, you speak the universal language of football. There you go.
Yeah.
And from all of us outside to see this team clicking has been phenomenal. As we know, this team had to work through a lot of work through some things at the beginning of the season, and now it feels like it's clicking. Well, how much fun is it to be part of this team when they're scoring 6 goals, when they're unbeaten 8-9 games?
Nah, I think their history talks by itself. It's a team where basically new, but it's had a lot of success in little time, little space of time, and that just talks about how well this organization is organized, and all the players and all the staff and everything that's part of this team is something amazing, and obviously reflects in the pitch where it's important, the most important thing.
Well, good stuff, Tommy. We know that more goals are coming, and you look great in black and gold, man, and it's great to see you guys play. That Saturday was pretty special too, you guys clicking. So good luck to you, good luck to LAFC, and good luck to Colombia.
Thank you. That's I'm for sure convinced that it's the beginning of something amazing, and I wish to keep on scoring, to keep on winning the fans and obviously the staff, just to show who I am and obviously my talent.
It's been great to see you, man. Tommy Ángel, LAFC forward, joining us here on Inside LAFC podcast. That's all the time we have for this week. Thank Beta, of course, Tommy, and everyone at the club. Colorado Rapids this weekend. We will be back next week with a whole new show. Until then, let's go black and gold. We'll see you soon.